Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for coming. We have convened this press conference this afternoon to announce the arrest and charges of two individuals in relation to the fatal shooting of Luis Perez of the Bronx on I-80 in Lodi last Saturday morning. I'm very proud of the effective, dedicated, and professional work of the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office, and I would like to thank the other law enforcement agencies that have worked alongside us or in cooperation with us on this investigation, specifically the New Jersey State Police, the Suffolk County, New York Police Department, and the Suffolk County, New York District Attorney's Office. We are also honored to have worked closely with the former Bergen County prosecutor and Attorney General of the state of New Jersey, Grabir Graywall, who is here today, and I will turn over the microphone to him at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Prosecutor, and good afternoon, everyone. Early morning hours of January 18th, Luis Perez was shot dead as he was traveling westbound on Route 80 in and around Lodi, New Jersey. His front seat passenger, Jose Mercado, was injured and is in stable condition, and a third individual in the back seat escaped without harm. Since that time, the men and women of the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office, my old office, have been working hand in hand with the state police, which I now have the privilege of leading. And in conjunction, they've worked nonstop since that Saturday morning to chase down all leads, to chase down every bit of evidence, to bring to justice the individuals involved in that horrific crime on Saturday morning. Chief Anzalotti will share with you the details of what transpired and how the investigation unfolded and the charges that have been brought against the individuals that were brought to justice by this exemplary collaboration of the men and women behind me and of the other agencies that the prosecutor mentioned. But the reason that I'm here and the reason that I felt it important for us to announce these charges this afternoon at a press conference is because there is public alarm anytime that there is violence in any of our communities, whether it's in a shopping mall, whether it's on a highway, whether it's in a restaurant. We are on edge since the events of Jersey City last month. And I think it's important for the public to know that we've brought to justice the individuals responsible, that this was not a random killing, that this was a targeted killing of the individual driving that car, Luis Perez, and that the individuals were familiar with each other, and that there could be a degree of comfort in the public knowing that we've chased down those leads and brought to justice those responsible for this crime. So again, I couldn't be more proud of the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office, the Division of State Police under the leadership of Colonel and the other individuals who worked this matter, who are here this afternoon as well. I couldn't be more proud of the way that everyone has worked together to chase down leads fairly quickly and apprehend the individuals involved. So I'll turn it over to Chief of Detectives Rob Anzalotti to share with you the details of the charges and the facts of the investigation. Rob?
Thank you, General, and thank you, Prosecutor Marcello. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll just briefly go over the facts of the case, how it started, and the fine police work that was done. Much like everyone else here, I would also like to commend the work that was done by these fine officers. I've been a cop for nearly 30 years, and I've seen a lot of good police work, but this was just simply outstanding work on the part of the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office and the New Jersey State Police. I pride ourselves on the great work we do here, and I pride ourselves on the collaboration with all our partners. The State Police have, for many, many years, been a fantastic partner with us, and this was truly a result of great collaboration. As many of you know, on Saturday, January 18th, 2020, at 12:16 a.m., the New Jersey State Police received a 911 call of shots fired on Interstate 80 near milepost 64 in Lodi, New Jersey, Bergen County. Responding troopers found a black 2019 Honda Civic stopped in the middle lane of the highway. The driver, later identified as 27-year-old Luis Perez of the Bronx, New York, was shot in the neck and the chest and pronounced dead at the scene. The front seat passenger, later identified as 24-year-old Jose Luis Mercado, also of the Bronx, New York, was shot once in the chest, and based on life-saving measures by the troopers and EMS on scene, was rushed to Hackensack University Medical Center in critical condition. After undergoing surgery, he's currently there in stable condition. A 24-year-old male rear seat passenger was uninjured and was the 911 caller. Based upon the crime scene investigation and interviews conducted by detectives, it was determined that a vehicle had pulled adjacent to the Honda Civic, at which time the passenger of the suspect vehicle extended his arm out of the window and fired several shots into the victim's car. As noted, a joint investigation ensued, conducted by the New Jersey State Police and the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office. Detectives conducted numerous interviews, reviewed surveillance videos from the area of the shooting as well as related areas to the investigation, and searched various law enforcement databases, and ultimately discovered a suspect vehicle, namely a 2013 red BMW SUV, which had followed our victim's car from New York over the George Washington Bridge and ultimately onto Route 80 westbound, before pulling abruptly adjacent to it and shooting the victims. On Wednesday, January 22nd, detectives from the New Jersey State Police and the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office, along with Suffolk County PD homicide detectives, located the vehicle during the early morning hours and ultimately executed search warrants on the vehicle and the residence where it was found. The continued investigation revealed that at the time of the shooting, the suspect vehicle had been in the possession of one Kenneth Regan and Douglas Caudry. Physical surveillance was set up at a residence known to be utilized by these suspects, namely 510 Montauk Highway in Eastport, New York, and at 12:35 p.m., members of the State Police, the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office, and Suffolk County PD attempted to execute a motor vehicle stop when both suspects, along with a third, entered a white Ford Fusion and went to leave the area. A brief motor vehicle pursuit ensued, resulting in the crash of the white Ford Fusion and all three suspects being apprehended. Search warrants were then executed on that vehicle and the suspect's residence. A loaded, defaced .22 caliber rifle, which had been modified to be used as a submachine gun, was found inside that white Ford Fusion, and a sawed-off shotgun was located and seized in the residence. Kenneth Regan, date of birth 12/15/1998, has been charged in New Jersey with the murder of Luis Perez, with 2 counts of attempted murder for the passengers that were in the victim's vehicle, and various weapons offenses. In addition, Suffolk County has charged him with criminal possession of a loaded firearm for the gun which was located in the car. Douglas Caudry, DOB of 11/18/1997, has been charged in New Jersey with the murder of Luis Perez, 2 counts of attempted murder for the passengers, and various weapons offenses. In addition, Suffolk County Police Department has charged him with the criminal possession of a loaded firearm, possession of CDS, and felony escape. The escape charge is the result of Caudry's attempt to escape Suffolk County PD headquarters after he was in custody. The third passenger in that white Ford Fusion was identified as Robert Plunkett, date of birth 10/25/1997. He was also charged by the Suffolk County Police Department with criminal possession of a loaded firearm. All 3 defendants are appearing today in Suffolk County Central Islip Court, and Regan and Caudry will be extradited to Bergen County to face these murder charges at a later date. I'll turn it back over to Attorney General Graywall to answer any questions.
All right, questions? So that is going to be part of the ongoing investigation. We do know from the investigation to date that it wasn't a random killing, that the 2 suspects who were arrested were following the victim's car for a period of time, and it was a targeted killing. As to what the specific motivations behind that killing, that's going to be the process that unfolds now as we go through the forensic evidence that's been recovered to date.
Any idea if it was gang-related, drug-related, anything at this point?
And that would be part of what we will identify as we look to motivation and look to what the specific associations between the 3 victims in the car, the one who's deceased, and the suspects in this case are. And that's going to be part of the ongoing work that the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office, the State Police will now undertake as we move forward in the case. Yes, sir.
And just to clarify, were the vehicles moving? They were moving as the shooting occurred, correct?
That it was while the vehicles were moving, the shots were fired from the BMW into the Civic on Route 80 West in around Lodi.
In the surveillance or whatever you've looked at to piece this together, do you notice how close other vehicles might have been to these cars? Were they the only ones around at that time?
I can't speak to that, and I don't know if the chief is in a position to do that at this point, but it was on Route 80 West, albeit at after midnight on Saturday morning. It's a busy thoroughfare, so there are vehicles constantly on that roadway, but as to the specific vehicles, I can't say.
I can tell you that the rear seat passenger was the only 911 caller. So if there were other vehicles that were in the area, none that stepped forward and contacted the police.
Was this a long chase that, looking at the video, was this going on for miles or?
So it started at least in New York City and continued into New Jersey. And I wouldn't characterize it as a chase, but the vehicles were in close proximity for a period of time between the two states. Again, that's why we could say it wasn't a random occurrence, and I know there was quite a bit of public alarm in and around Bergen County in New Jersey about a random shooting on Route 80 over the weekend. It was not a random shooting, it was a targeted killing, and again, the specific motivations will be the subject of our investigation moving forward. Anything else?
Off subject, can you guys talk about anything with this Bloomingdale police-involved shooting in Hackensack?
So the matter's under investigation by our Office of Public Integrity and Accountability and the Attorney General's shooting response team, and we'll have a statement on that shortly. It took place earlier this morning, is my understanding.
Any details at all on that?
No, we'll be providing the initial details as we do in the wake of these types of incidents. As you're aware, recent legislation has brought all those investigations to the Attorney General's office. We've responded, and our investigators are on scene, and we'll provide an initial statement in the next several hours. If not anything else on this, thank you for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.